Felicia Day. There's a name I haven't heard in years. She's lost all of her relevance. As if you remember, her and Wil Wheaton tried to make this whole Geek and Sundry thing where they were going to be the gatekeepers of everything geek, and that kind of just fell by the wayside over the years. Well, Felicia Day has a lot to say about these LA riots, which they're using the same NPC coded language that they've used before. It's like they just have a few phrases that they can regurgitate, these people, and they just do it over and over and over again. And that's what it is. These people don't think, the leftists don't think. They're actors, right? And so when it sounds like a script, it's because it actually is a script, and nothing about this is real. It's such a ridiculous thing. And that's going to be our trend of this year as we go forward. Nothing the media tells you is real. And that's exactly why we formed our alternative media, to tell it like it is and actually show you what's being done and pull back the curtain, show what's behind the Wizard of Oz out there, because this type of stuff went on for far too long. And a lot of people are doing it in direct politics and the like, but we're doing it in entertainment culture where nobody else covers this kind of stuff. So guys, this is my Fandom Pulse Substack right here. Please sign up in the description below. I'm going to put it out for you. You can see we do a bunch of different articles every day. I can only do about 2 or 3 YouTube videos a day, so I can't cover everything. But the best way to get informed is to read, and this is a great spot here. I'm moving everything over there. Eventually, once the Substack gets to a point, we're actually almost there. I might move a lot of my YouTube content over there too, because this platform's getting out of control. So please sign up here. It's in the description below, guys. And if you want to support with a paid membership, it really helps us. We do this without advertising. That is the key to doing things without having to be censored or things like that. Because if you have advertisers, you have censorship. And so we do things differently, and it's all supported by readers like you. I appreciate you for being there. So this is it. Yes, like I said, Felicia Day. Now, back in the day, I actually liked the Guild quite a bit. I thought it was pretty funny and quirky and fun, before everything became funny and quirky and fun, and it became pretty stale pretty quickly. But that's how I found her. I found her on all the YouTube channels and the Guild, and I was a big World of Warcraft player, so all the inside jokes kind of appealed to me there. And that blew up pretty quickly for her. It was kind of a different thing that you didn't see a lot of these people doing this kind of thing, and you didn't see them really appealing towards, this area, this side of culture. So it was pretty interesting on that level. Now, that, jumped the shark pretty quickly because it was a concept that only went so far. And she parlayed this, like I said, with Wil Wheaton into this Geek and Sundry thing where they became commentators. And as commentators, they basically shilled corporate products. So they'd shill D&D for Hasbro. They'd shill different board games. And they very, very obviously paid advertisements, right? And that's exactly what the media is. It's just a giant paid advertisement all the time, advertising each other, and that's how they build each other up. We're kind of missing that on the right, where people don't really support the arts and things like that over here. It's really maddening a lot of times. But yes, this is who Felicia Day is. If you missed it, she also was in Buffy the Vampire for like 8 episodes. She was in towards the end of the series. She was there. She was in Supernatural. Did some extra work with Joss Whedon with his musical thing that he did at one point. And so we'll see. I don't think she's spoken out against Joss Whedon, but there's that. And during Gamergate, she posted saying she was getting death threats and had to leave from her house, and of course didn't post any receipts. The usual with this type of thing is everybody was trying to grift off that at the time. So that's kind of the background of where we're at. Now, again, we haven't heard from Felicia Day in any meaningful capacity in almost 10 years now. It's been a long time. And so she obviously is trying to get back on things. And what aging celebrities do to get back on things is they push their extreme leftist politics and make these statements that are stupid like this all the time to stay relevant and stay in the media. And that's exactly what we've got going on right here. Like I said, I hadn't heard from her in a long time. It's like, oh, almost forgot she existed. But this is a pretty funny one because we've seen the last 5 days of rioters going around burning cars in the middle of the street. It's crazy stuff out there. They're having to call in, of course, the Marines to settle things down. And they're bad actors. These are not just like an organic protest or anything like that, like they're pretending it it is. We found out that actually a California state senator actually fueled this thing and actually incited the riot and actually brought in a bunch of groups that were, a bunch of paid agitators. And so even that's fake. Everything is fake and paid. You got to remember that with this whole media establishment right here. But it is up there. It is crazy, and it's crazy to watch this going on in California right now. And so naturally, Felicia Day, I don't know where she lives. I'm in California as well, but I'm sure she's in some rich Hollywood white suburb, which is not exactly the same spot. And she's acting like it's not existing. Well, if you live 30 minutes away or whatever, of course it's not the same as what's going on. That's pretty obvious with anything. Even if you're in a war zone like Iraq, it's like that as well. You've got your areas like Fallujah or whatever that have big problems, and then you've got your out in the middle of the desert where nobody exists, and that's kind of a different place where there's not a lot of violence going on. This is just totally disingenuous right here and totally fake. And of course, she's getting community noted on this because of it. So here's what she said. I'm here to say it's a gorgeous day in LA. I drove all around town. Everything's normal. Mostly peaceful protests are happening in one tiny area of downtown. Now remember, if you watched yesterday, they were actually closing off the freeways and trying to block traffic and the like. Easily manageable by local officials. Don't believe the media hype. This is a manufactured crisis. Hashtag LA strong. So, oh my gosh. So you could see this here, mostly peaceful protests. Yeah, we've heard that line before. Remember the fiery but mostly peaceful protests they were talking about on CNN where they're watching buildings burn around them and the reporters just standing in front of that? Absolutely crazy on that level. And then manufactured crisis is the thing that Gavin Newsom said. So again, these are just Democrat talking points that are being pushed out by influencer accounts, and that's what they do. And I've got another video later today to show how just insidious the paid influencing is. But this is done all the way around. None of this is organic whatsoever, even though they want to pretend like it is. These celebrities lecturing you are basically the propaganda mouthpieces that are done intentionally all the way around. Now, I don't think Felicia Day has enough influence to actually get paid like some of these other people, but I think she is regurgitating and repeating this kind of thing because, like I said, you could see the talking point language that's exactly the same that all of them are using. And I think she's trying to do it to try to get to that kind of relevance so that she maybe can get paid or can stay in the influence on the culture here. So this is pretty funny. Here's Mayor Karen from LA. You can't make up that there's a Mayor Karen in this whole crisis. Violence and looting undermines our focus to protect families and leads to chaos. Don't weaken the movement. Damage to our city will not be tolerated and individuals will be prosecuted. So there's damage to the city. There's violence and looting. The mayor admits it right there. And Felicia Day, not so much, right? And that's pretty ridiculous that it goes on that level. In a video, she said the city's being torn apart by violence as well, just to make sure that we understand where Felicia Day is coming from. She says, I do not believe that individuals that commit vandalism and violence in our city are in support of immigrants. They have another agenda. If you support immigrants and rights of immigrants to be in our city, you would not be tearing the city apart. Yeah, interesting that. They would be, though, because that's exactly what it is. And as you can see, here's some videos from Fox 13, different individuals rioting throughout the city, and the National Guard was called in, and we had problems with Home Depot, and now we have a YouTube that got age restricted because of the talk of this. Well, Felicia Day, let's see how she's doing now. On her ratio with all of this going on. I'm sure this backfired because, of course, it always does. And yes, she has not posted in a couple days here, and you can see that she has she not quite a ratio. She just doesn't have enough juice to get this going. 191 comments, but only 3,000 likes on this. And of course, as you can see, everything she talks about before is also when Roe versus Wade was overturned and women bled out in ERs, we heard states' rights. When did this happen? When guns became the number one killer of kids, states' rights. But no one protests against injustice. Oh, suddenly there's federal boots on the ground. You could see this. It's like, wow, what crazy stuff. But they never tell the truth. It's just emotional reacting rhetoric, and that's why these people should not be allowed to vote. That's what it comes down to at the end of the day. And that's exactly what we have going on here. Fun stuff with Felicia Day coming out of the woodwork. Go back to make a new guild 2. What would you do in 2025 with a guild? Like, I guess World of Warcraft's really not so much of a relevant thing anymore. You'd have to think about that, really. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Please hit the like and subscribe button. Guys, sign up for the Fandom Pulse Substack. So important because you never know if I'm going to find you again or anything like that. This is a huge important spot to be, and this is where all the entertainment news is at, where we are telling you the truth about what's going on. Appreciate you being there. That's in the description below. I am also a writer of science fiction, fantasy, and comics. You can check those out in the description below as well. We'll be back soon.